True speech. Truth is known by practice only. Without sincerity, there can be no knowledge of truth. Without sincerity, there can be no knowledge of truth. And true speech is the beginning of all sincerity. Truth in all is negative beauty, and the original simplicity consists in abandoning and not doing all those things which are untrue, and in embracing and doing all those things which are true. True speech is therefore one of the elementary beginnings in the life of truth. Falsehood and all forms of deception, slander, and all forms of evil speaking, these must to be totally abandoned and abolished before the mind can be received even a small degree of spiritual enlightenment. The liar and the slanderer is lost in darkness. So deep is his darkness is that he cannot distinguish between good and evil, and he persuades himself that his lying and evil speaking are necessary and good, that he is thereby protecting himself and other people. Let the would-be student of higher things look to himself and beware of self-delusion. If he is given to altering words that deceive or to speaking evil of others, if he speaks in insincerity, envy, or malice, then he has not yet begun to study higher things. He may be studying metaphysics, or miracles, or psychic phenomena, or astral wonders. He may be studying how to commune with invisible beings, to travel invisibly during sleep, or to produce a curious phenomena. He may even study spirituality theoretically and as a mere book study. But if he is a deceiver and a backbiter, the higher life is hidden from him. For the higher things are these: uprightness, sincerity, innocence, purity, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, humility, patience, pity, sympathy, self-sacrifice, joy, goodwill, love, and he would study them, know them, and make them his own, must practice them. There is no other way. Lying and evil speaking belong to lowest forms of spiritual ignorance, and there can be no such thing as a spiritual enlightenment while they are practiced. Their parents are selfishness and hatred. Slander is akin to lying, but it is even more subtle, as it is frequently associated with indignation, and by assuming more successfully the appearance of truth, in ensnares many who would not tell a deliberate falsehood. For there are two sides to slander. There is a making of a repeating of it, and there is the listening to it and the acting upon it. The slanderer would parties without a listener. Evil words require an ear that is receptive to evil, in which they may fall before they can flourish. Therefore he who listens to the slanderer, who believes it, and allows himself to be influenced against the person whose character and reputation are defamed, is in the same position as one who framed and repeated the evil report. The evil speaker is the positive slanderer. The evil listener is a passive slanderer. The two are co-operators in the propagation of evil. Slander is a common vice in a dark and deadly way. An evil report begins in ignorance, and pursues its blind way in the darkness. It generally takes rise in a misunderstanding. Someone feels that he or she has been badly treated and filled with indignation and resentment, unburdening himself to his friends and others in the Bohemian language, exaggerating the enormity of the supposed offense and accounting for feeling of injury by which he is possessed. He is listened to and sympathized with. The listeners, without hearing the other person's version of what he has taken place, and on no other proof that the violent words of the angry men or women become cold in their attitude towards the one spoken against, and they repeat to others what they have been told, and as such repetition is always more or less inaccurate, a distorted and altogether untrue report is soon passing from mouth to mouth. It is because slander is such a common vice that it can work the suffering and injury that it does. It is because so many not deliberate wrongdoers and unconscious of the nature of the evil into which they so easily fall are ready to allow themselves to be influenced against one whom they have hitherto regarded as honorable, that an evil report can do its deadly work, yet its work is only amongst those who have not altogether acquired the virtue of true speech, the cause of which is the truth-loving mind. When one who has not entirely freed himself from the repeating or believing an evil report about another, hears an evil report about himself, his mind becomes aflamed with burning resentment. His sleep is broken, and his peace of mind is destroyed. He thinks the cause of all his suffering is in the other man and what the man has said about him, and is ignorant of the truth that the root of cause of his suffering lies in his own readiness to believe an evil report about another. The virtuous man, he who has attained to true speech and whose mind is sealed against even the appearance of evil speaking, cannot be injured and disturbed about any evil report concerning himself, and although his reputation may for a time be stained in the minds of those who are prone to suggestion of evil, his integrity remains untouched, and his character unsoiled, for no one can be stained by the evil deeds of another, but only by his own wrongdoing. And so, through all misrepresentation, misunderstanding, and contumely, he is untroubled and unrevengeful. His sleep is undisturbed, and his mind remains in peace. Okay, so, through all misrepresentation, misunderstanding, and custom, he is untroubled and unrevengeful. His sleep is undisturbed, and his mind remains in peace. True speech is the beginning of a pure, wise, and well-ordered life. Mm. If one would attain a purified of life, if he would lessen the evil and the suffering of the world, let it abandon falsehood and the slander in thought and the world. Let him avoid even the appearance of these things, for there are no lies and slanders so deadly as those which are half-truths, and let him not be participant in the evil speaking by listening to it. Let him also have a compassion on the evil speaker, knowing how such an one is binding himself to suffering and unrest. For no liar can know the bliss of truth, no slanderer can enter the kingdom of peace. Okay, I should share this lesson for my book notes here. So, okay. By the words which are utters, is a man's spiritual condition declared. By this also is finally and infallibly adjusted. For as the divine Master of creation, word has declared, by thy word shalt thou be justified, and by thy word shalt thou be condemned. Equal-mindedness. To be equal-minded is to be peacefully minded, for a man cannot be said to have arrived at peace, who allows his mind to be disturbed and thrown off the balance by occurrences. The man of wisdom is dispassionate, and admits all things with the calmness of a mind, in repose and free from prejudice. He is not a partisan, having put away passion, and he is always at peace with himself and the world, not taking sides or defending himself by sympathizing with all. The partisan is so convinced that his own opinion, his own side is right, and that all that goes contrary to them is wrong, that he cannot think there is any good in other opinion and the other side. He lives in a continual favor of attack or defense, and has no knowledge of the quiet peace of an equal mind. The equal-minded man watches himself in order to check and overcome even the appearance of passion and the prejudice in his mind, and by so doing he develops sympathy for others and comes to understand their position and the particular state of mind. And as he comes to understand others, he perceives the folly of condemning them and opposing himself to them. Thus there grows up in his heart a divine charity which cannot be limited, but which is extended to all things that live and strive and suffer. When a man is under the sway of passion and prejudice, he is spiritually blind, seeing nothing but good in his own sight, and nothing but evil in the other side. He cannot see anything as it really is, not even his own sight. And not understanding himself, he can understand the hearts of others and the things. It is right that he shouldn't condemn them. Thus there grow up in his heart a dark hatred for those who refuse to see with him, and he condemn him in return. He becomes separate from his fellow men, and confines himself to a narrow torture chamber of his own making. Sweet and peaceful are the days of an equal-minded man, fruitful in good, and rich in manifold blessings. Guided by wisdoms, he avoids those pathways which lead down to the hatred and the sorrow and pain, and takes those which lead up to love and peace and bliss. The occurrences of life does not trouble him, nor does he grieve over those things which are regarded by mankind as grievous, but which must befall all man in the ordinary course of nature. He is neither elated by success nor cast down by failure. He sees the events of his life arrayed in their proper positions, and can find no room for selfish wishes, or vain regrets, for vain anticipations and childish disappointments. And how is their equal-mindedness, this blessed state of mind and life, acquired? Only by overcoming oneself, only by purifying one's own life, hurt. For the purification of the heart leads to unbiased comprehension is the equal-mindedness, and the equal-mindedness leads to peace. Wow. The impure man is swept helplessly away on the waves of passion. The pure man guides himself into the harbor of rest. The fool says, I have no opinion. The wise man goes about his business. Okay, here it's beautiful sentence here. Only by purifying one's own heart, by the purification of heart, leads to unbiased comprehension. Unbiased comprehension leads to equal-mindedness, and equal-mindedness leads to peace. Isn't it beautiful? Wow. The pure man is swept. The pure man is swept. The impure man is swept heavily away on the waves of passion. The pure man guides himself into the harbor of rest. The fool says, I have no opinion. The wise man goes about his business. Okay, good results. Oh my god, this book is so beautiful, and I just traded with the Korean version of that. It is translated in Korean, so I'll try how to translate it. I just want to see it. Okay, by the James Allen. Oh my god, my eyes a little bit tired, but try to keep reading it in Korean. Okay, I believe it's a good lesson for that as well. Okay, so it's 음형 방식이라고 했어요. 솔직히 좀 안 맞아요. That's 음형 방식, 말하는 것에 대해서 나오는 거거든요. 그래서 지금 또 영어를 읽었기 때문에 한국말 되게 힘들죠? 오케이. 말에 대해서 나오고 진정한 행동에 대해서 나왔을 때는 여기에서 나왔어요. 어떤 행동이 좋은 충동이나 의도에 의해 촉발되는 것만으로는 부족하고 그것은 진정한 행동이 되려면 사려 깊은 배려 속에서 이루어져야 하며 자신 안에서 영원히 행복하고 다른 사람들에게 선을 위한 권력을 가지고자 하는 사람은 오직 진정한 행동에 대해서만 자신을 걱정해야 합니다. 나는 최선의 의도를 가지고 그것을 했다는 것은 다른 사람들의 나쁜 행동에 무심코 개입한 사람의 잘못된 변명입니다. 그의 쓰라린 경험은 그가 앞으로 더 신중하게 행동하도록 가르쳐 주어야 합니다. 참된 행동은 오직 참된 마음에서 비롯될 수 있으며 따라서 사람은 거짓과 참된 것을 구별하고 선택하는 법을 배우는 동안 자신의 마음을 교정하고 완벽하게 하고 있으며 그렇게 함으로써 삶을 더욱 조화롭고 행복하고 효율적이며 강력하게 만들고 있습니다. 삶의 모든 세부사항과 그것을 수행하는 믿음과 지식에서 권리를 명확하게 구별하는 내 안을 얻음에 따라 그는 실패의 바람과 박해의 폭풍을 결코 훼손할 수 없다. 평등한 마음. 마음이 평등한 사람의 날은 달콤하고 평화로우며 그 하루를 말해. 제가 다르게 했어요. 마음이 평등한 사람의 날은 달콤하고 평화로우며 맞아요. 선한 일들이 결실을 맺고 다양한 축복이 풍부합니다. 지혜의 인도를 받은 그의 증오와 슬픔과 고통으로 이어지는 길들을 피하고 사랑과 평화와 행복으로 이어지는 길들을 택합니다. 마음이 평온한 사람. 삶의 사건들이 그를 괴롭히지도 않고 어떤 일이 일어나도 흔들리지 않는 거죠. 인류가 비통하다고 여기지만 자연의 평범한 가정에 있는 모든 사람들에게 떨어져야 하는 것들에 대해 슬퍼하지도 않습니다. 그는 성공에 기뻐하지도 실패에 쓰러지지도 않습니다. 그는 자연의 삶을 열된 것으로 보고 헛된 기대와 어린 실망의 이기적인 소망이나 헛된 후회를 할 여지를 찾지 못합니다. 그리고 이 평등한 마음은 어떻게 획득할 수 있을까요? 어떻게 해석할 수 있느냐? 오직 자신의 마음을 정화함으로써. 이거예요. 답은 이거 하나밖에 없어. Purify my mind. Purify myself. 정화함으로써 자신을 극복하고 마음을 정화함으로써만 편견 없는 이해는 평등한 마음으로 이어지고 평등한 마음은 평화로 이어집니다. 결국은 이제 평화가 최고의 종착지인 것 같아요. 어떤 일이 일어나도 평화롭게. 불순한 사람은 열정의 파도에 속수무책으로 휩쓸리고 순수한 사람은 자신의 휴식의 항구로 인도합니다. 바보는 나의 의견이 있다고 말합니다. 현명한 사람은 자신의 사업에 대해 이야기합니다. 오케이. 생각보다 원서는 좀 아름답게 쓰여져 있지만 이게 고전이다 보니까 아무래도 이제 번역하는 과정에서 좀 지겨운 부분이 많아요. 그쵸? 그래서 사실 조금 제가 생각할 땐 아이고야 조금 안정적이지는 않은 것 같습니다. 일단 여기까지 하고 지금 눈이 피곤하고 노트북에 배터리도 다 됐기 때문에 okay, so I'm going to wrap up here today for English English version of notes today. Okay, so good job reading. See you tomorrow.